What's up, fans? Welcome back to the show. Guys, time for the Brides. The Brides is here, and I hope you guys are having a good day today. As you can see, I'm wearing my Justin Jefferson jersey. He is the best wide receiver in the NFL today. You can debate me on that, but dude, that guy is an absolute stud. And there's some of you out there wondering, why the hell am I wearing the Minnesota Vikings jersey? Well, first of all, this is my podcast. This is the Brides' podcast. He will wear whatever jersey he feels like. All right, so you got that going on. And second of all, he's the best damn wide receiver in the NFL today. You can debate me on that. And third, this is one of many jerseys that I have from Chris, big house jerseys out in Michigan, in northern Michigan there, near Port Huron. He gave me these jerseys, or I bought these jerseys off him. He has a big selection: baseball, basketball, football, hockey. So we got a lot of jerseys for him. But yeah, big house jerseys. Chris, very nice guy. Check him out on Facebook. He's got a nice selection. But yeah, this is where I got from, and you know, why not? This is one of many jerseys I haven't worn on this podcast, so might as well throw it on today. I felt like it, wide receiver mode, I guess. But yeah, so we got that going on. But yeah, today we got Stanley Cup playoffs, and Vegas looks dominant. First time they won the Stanley Cup in franchise history. Only been in the league for 6 years, so that's pretty impressive there. We got the UFC to talk about, but then we're actually going to open the show today, talk about a little bit of the Big Ten in college football and how there's not going to be any divisions starting next season. So on top of that, let's start talking about it. Let's go with that. So the Big Ten not having divisions starting next year, 2024. So when the conference expands to 16 games, because as we mentioned on this podcast, USC and UCLA are coming to the Big Ten. That's a weird move in my opinion, but it might work out. We'll see. So according to this article, the Detroit News, Angelique Chengelis, she mentions that the conference champion will be determined by the top two in the standings, meaning they're going to meet in the title game. So yeah, basically best record. So that will be very interesting. So yeah, the Big Ten Thursday, a couple weeks, or last week rather, the 2024-25 seasons, the conference schedules. Well, I already know Michigan's schedules for 2024 and 25. So yeah, they're not messing around with this. And then obviously teams will continue playing 9 conference games. Not surprisingly, among the guaranteed annual rivalry games, the protected matchups as they call it, but the rivalry games, Michigan State, and then Michigan and Ohio State. Thank God, because those are two iconic rivalries in college football. So yeah, in 2024, Michigan's going to play USC regular season game for the first time since 1957, and UCLA is coming to Michigan Stadium to play a game against the Wolverines. And then we have road games against Ohio State, Illinois, and Rutgers, and then USC and Michigan State. And then yeah, USC is going to be on the road, and then Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and UCLA are at home. So yeah, it's good to see that we're going to be playing Minnesota. Obviously, the little brown jug. Seems like the past couple of years we haven't been playing Minnesota. So maybe this no divisions thing might actually be beneficial. It actually might be cool. But at the same time, I don't know, man. If Michigan, like let's say Michigan and Ohio State are the best teams, they play obviously every single year last November. And let's say Michigan wins. So now what? Ohio State has 1 or 2 losses. They have the best one, second best record in the Big Ten. We gotta play them again. I don't know if I'm a fan of it. So yeah, no divisions starting next year. I'm not a fan of it. It might work out, but I want to hear how you guys feel about it. I don't know. It's weird. It's a different concept. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But college football, the NCAA, Big Ten, all those conferences, they find a way to make college football still worth watching after all these years. And then I think the ACC, starting this season, 2023 season, I saw something that they're not going to have any divisions this year. So it's kind of like a free-for-all. Top 2 teams compete for the title. So very interesting. But yeah, Big Ten shaking things up in college football. How you guys feel about it? Let me know in the comment section. As of right now, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. It's just very interesting concept. I don't really like how some teams get to, gotta play each other twice, depending on, their records and stuff. Like I said, Ohio State and Michigan, they have the 2 best records in the Big Ten. Obviously, they play the last November every single season. Let's say Ohio State wins that game. What, Michigan has a chance to get revenge, or vice versa? Michigan wins the November game, and then what? We got to meet them in the Big Ten championship game. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. But like I said, college football finds ways to make it interesting. So we got that to look forward to in the upcoming seasons. But yeah, the Big Ten making some noise in college football. So yeah, I forgot to mention that last week. I know it came out last week. I just, I've been away for a while. I was out in Washington, had my finger injury. So kind of missed that, went under the rug, I guess you can say. But good to bring it up now. So all you college football fanatics, it's almost here. So it's going to be a very interesting season. I hope Michigan does really well this season, the 2023 season. So you got that going on. Now we got to hop over to the Stanley Cup Finals. So obviously Vegas Golden Knights are your 2023 Stanley Cup champs. They took care of business against Florida, 9-3. I mean, that's like a baseball score. Damn, dude. I mean, total domination. They kicked ass. I mean, all series too. Vegas won game 1 5-2. They won game 2 7-2, and then Panthers won their only game in the series in overtime. Probably the best game of the series, 3-2 at home, and then Vegas won on the road 3-2 in regulation, and then obviously at home Tuesday night, a couple nights ago, they won 9-3. I mean, just complete ass whooping by the Vegas Golden Knights against Florida Panthers. But yeah, their offense is just unbelievable. I mean, I was watching the game Tuesday, and they were just dominating. They were just controlling the puck, controlling the zone, keeping the puck in the zone, just rifling away. Sergei Bobrovsky, the goaltender, the goalie for the Florida Panthers, he was gassed. He was tired. That defense of Florida's was tired. You're losing Matthew Tkachuk, who's your star player. That is a difference maker as well. So Vegas looked really good. I love how they were playing, even throughout the entire playoffs, especially in this series, the Stanley Cup Finals. But the entire playoffs, they've been unbelievable. They're scoring a lot of goals. I mean, they find a way to get the puck in the back of the net, and that's the end game, right? That's the goal at the end of hockey, and get the most goals, obviously. And they found plenty of ways to do that during these playoffs. So congrats to the Vegas Golden Knights, their first championship in league history. They've only been in league for 6 years, so that's amazing. But yeah, Vegas definitely having a good time out there, or they did definitely Tuesday night. But yeah, they dominated. Mark Stone, Vegas Golden Knights captain, he had a hat trick. His first goal was a shorthand goal. It was a really cool goal. It really started things up for Vegas. I mean, after that, they kind of didn't look back. I think Florida got a goal there, but then after that, Vegas took over that game. The second period onward, all Vegas, man. I mean, they were just the puck never left Florida's zone. I mean, you got tired players out there. How you think it's going to happen? The puck's going to find its way in the back of the net when the defense and the goalie himself are tired. So Vegas played a really good series. It was nice to see him win a Stanley Cup. But now going into next season, hopefully the Red Wings, our beloved Detroit Red Wings, find a way to get into the playoffs. That would be really cool. But Vegas looks really good, so watch out. They're the team to beat. Obviously, they got a big target on their back, but good for them to win the Stanley Cup. New team getting it done. It's always nice to see. But yeah, congrats to Vegas. I hope they enjoyed this victory. And, hockey, gotta wait for their next season for Stanley Cup. But then Florida, man, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I mean, very talented team, don't get me wrong. I mean, they were the last team to make it to the playoffs. They were like the 8th seed, something like that. And they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, so you got to give them that. It's just, unfortunately, injuries hurt them a bit. And then, obviously, the goaltending was amazing up to this point. Sergei Bobrovsky really struggled to try to find a way to stop the Vegas Golden Knights offense. And it showed in a few games in the series, especially the last game, Tuesday night. So we'll see what happens with the Florida Panthers. But the Vegas Golden Knights, man, congrats. Good for them. So got that, and then, hockey's pretty much over. So we'll have to see what happens, but hopefully the Red Wings find a way back in the playoffs going into next season. So with that being said, we, as usual on this podcast, I know last time we didn't, but this time we will. UFC, last topic of this episode. We got Fight Night this Saturday. June 17th at 9 p.m. We got two really good middleweights going at. Marvin Vettori going against Jared Cannonier. That's going to be an interesting one there. And I think that's really it. All these other guys are names I never heard of before. So, yeah, good luck to everybody. But, yeah, if you guys want to place a bet, watch some UFC fights this weekend. Yeah, I was going to say no one except for those guys. So, Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier, that's going to be your main event this weekend. So, you got that going on. And then you got Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria, featherweight bout next Saturday, June 24th. And then you got women's flyweight co-main event. You got Amanda Ribas going up against Macy Barber. That should be an interesting one. Macy Barber, I like how she performs. I mean, she's a striker and she's got great conditioning. She's fun to watch. I mean, yeah, don't sleep on her. So yeah, you got that, and then I think you got Sean Strickland fighting a fight night in July, and then obviously UFC 290. Can't wait for this one, guys. You got Alexander Volkanovski defending the featherweight title against Yair Rodriguez. That's fireworks written all over it. That's gonna be a really good one. That's gonna be the main event of the UFC 290, July 8th at 10 p.m. on pay-per-view, so check that one out. And then the co-main event, you got the flyweight championship, so the really small guys, but badasses. You got Brandon Moreno, champion, defending his title against Alexandre Pantoja. I think this is the second time these guys are going at it. I think Moreno won the first time, so looking to retain his title. So that's going to be a really good one. You got Robert Whitaker on this card as well. So nice to see him back in the UFC on the fight card. You got Dan Hooker on this card. You know, he's been struggling as of late, so hopefully maybe he can get a victory against Jalen Turner. We'll see. And then Bo Nickel, rising star really in the UFC, going up against Tresean Gore. But yeah, Bo Nickel's wrestling is unbelievable. You know, watch his last fight. I mean, he dominated with his wrestling. It was crazy. So you got that going on. And then UFC 291 at the end of July 29th. This one is going to be an amazing card, guys. I mean, Poirier and Gaethje, that might be fight of the year because those guys beat the shit out of their opponents. I mean, their conditioning is unbelievable. Their striking is unbelievable. I mean, they just come after you with everything they got, and that's why I really like this fight. These two guys are actually my top two favorite fighters, and it's not because they're fighting right now, no, because every single fight I've watched of them, and since I've been watching UFC for a really long time now, they always put on highlights, and obviously Justin Gaethje's nickname is the highlight, and then Dustin Poirier's nickname is the Diamond. I mean, shine bright and put on the highlights. I mean, that's what they do, and they're really fun to watch, and that's why I really like these two guys. So it's just great to see these guys go at it. They're competing for the BMF title, the bad motherfucker title. I know it's a gimmick, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. I would like to see one of them get a title shot, but it looks like Charles Oliveira is going to get his rematch against Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, this fight, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje in the main event, that is fight of the year, written all over it. It's going to be a bloodbath. I don't know who I'm going to put my money on because I like both fighters because they never disappoint me. They always put on great fights, but it's going to be a good one. So yeah, check that one out. That's the main event for that card. You got Jan Blachowicz going up against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira making his debut at the light heavyweight division, so that's going to be an interesting one. Tony Ferguson back in action going up against Bobby Green. So two veterans really going at it. Both have lots to prove. Obviously, Tony Ferguson, 5-fight losing streak. So sad because up to that point he had a 12-fight winning streak. Looked like he was going to get a title shot. Kept on getting delayed. You know, and this is when Khabib Nurmagomedov was the lightweight champion, and it just kept getting delayed, and then COVID happened. It was just a cursed fight. It was very unfortunate. But then after that, you know, he just couldn't rebound. You know, he loses to Justin Gaethje. He loses to Beneil Dariush. He loses to Charles Oliveira. He gets knocked out by Michael Chandler. He recently lost to Nate Diaz. You know, so he's struggling. He's struggling. I think a win here would be awesome, and then after that, he should just retire. There's nothing more for him to prove. He's been an exciting fighter for a really long time now. Just these past few fights, it's been really unfortunate. It's not the same Tony Ferguson anymore. So hopefully I'm wrong about that going into UFC 291. Hopefully we see some old Tony come back against Bobby Green, but Bobby Green, he's a dangerous guy, man. He is a bad motherfucker too, so you have to look out for him. But yeah, both are veterans. I think both of them. Well, I know Tony Ferguson's on losing streak. Bobby Green might be as well. But yeah, two veterans going at it. Who's gonna win? I don't know. But you got two big names going at it on that card, so you got that going on. Paulo Costa, haven't heard his name in a while. He's gonna be on this card, and then Steven Thompson, he's going to be actually on the prelims, but, big name there, 40 years old, and he's still kicking the shit out of his opponents. I mean, those leg kicks are brutal, man. I watched his last fight against, who was it, Kevin Holland, I do believe. And, man, dude, those leg kicks did not sound fun. They did not sound good, man. So, yeah, he's on this card. Derek Lewis on this card as well. You got Michael Chiesa going against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's always exciting to watch, so that might be an interesting fight as well. So yeah, big names on this card. UFC 291, July 29th, I think in Salt Lake City, Utah, so not in your usual Las Vegas, Nevada at T-Mobile Arena. No, they're going to Salt Lake City, Utah, expanding a little bit for that one. But yeah, UFC 291, July 29th, 10 p.m. That's going to be a really good card. I suggest watching it. And the Bryce is going to watch it. I might even play some bets for that one. So yeah, check that one out. And then yeah, I think in August too, we got Aljamain Sterling defending his bantamweight title against Sean O'Malley. So that's gonna be a really interesting one as well. So yeah, lots of good fights. UFC knows how to cook it up in the summer. They know how to keep us entertained. It's gonna be a good one. I suggest checking it out and watching it with your friends and family, and yeah, play some bets and watch some people beat the shit out of each other. So with that being said, guys, that's it today. So guys, time to prize. Done with this episode. As always, it's going to be available on YouTube. Audio version is going to be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. As usual, I got my Justin Jefferson jersey on today. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. I don't want to hear shit. All right. If you want one of these jerseys, you got to go to Big House Jerseys on Facebook. Just type it in. Chris out in northern Michigan. Really cool guy. Really nice and got a nice collection. I've been there a few times. And yeah, this was actually a suggestion from Crazy Chris, who's out in Kansas City. So shout out to him for getting me involved. I mean, I appreciate it, man. Got a nice little collection of football and some baseball jerseys, some basketball jerseys, and some hockey jerseys. So yeah, Chris has the whole lineup. Yeah, Big House Jerseys. Look it up on Facebook. He does Facebook, so check it out. Message him. He's got a good collection over there. So with that being said, I am out, guys. So peace. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe out there. Check out this episode, and as always, watch and bet on some sports. All right, guys. Take care.